What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dillian, the body snatcher, White. Dillian White constructs a blueprint on how to beat Andy Ruiz. He simply says with Andy Ruiz, you've got to get the double jab going, good speed. You know he's going to come forward and you need to be patient. Take your time and walk him onto the big punches. You can't just go out there and throw a big single against him because he's experienced. He's had over 30 fights. He'll see the big singles coming. You've got to set him up. Back him a bit. Use your range against him. Let him walk you down and clock him with a shot when he's not expecting it. He only closed the distance quick against Joshua because Joshua tried to trade. Listen, you don't go into a fight and start trading with someone shorter than you with quick hands straight away like that. No, you've got to try and get yourself going. Be a bit patient. You might not win the first 1 or 2 rounds. It's Joshua's thing. He always tries to win the first 2 or 3 rounds, and that's his downfall. Patience is the key. You start mixing it with him on your terms when you're ready. Don't let him force you into a mix, and that's what Joshua did. Joshua started mixing with him too early. Is it dangerous to trade hooks? He said it's a danger zone in any fight. Left hooks are a hard punch to throw. You have to set it up. Sometimes you take a chance. When I fought Chisora, we both landed left hooks, but I just made sure mine was a bit shorter. I tensed up my shoulder and arm at the last minute. With Brown, I broke him down slowly, and then I knew he was ready. I knew that I knew what all I needed to do was sustain one big combination for 15 seconds and land the big one. But I need to disguise it in combination. I couldn't just go out there, throw the big hook, and then get him with it. I needed to throw 3 or 4 punches, and then that's what I did. They asked, would you test Ruiz's stamina? He said it seems to be fit with Ruiz Jr. I don't think it's a fitness fight. I think it's the fact you have to be patient. It's going to be a hard fight, but you have to be patient and believe in what you do. He says which is Joshua, seemed like he didn't believe in anything that he trained on or worked on. He was asking crazy questions in the corner. You have to believe in what you've done. How to stop yourself rushing in like AJ. He said it's hard to say because you want to rush in and try to finish these guys off when you get them going, but when I fought Chisora, Joshua was shocked that I didn't go in and rush and try to get him in with the first fight. He says with Joshua, was shocked, but that's patience. That's maturity and experience, growing and realizing that this man is tough, this man is dangerous, and he throws big hooks, big uppercuts, and big overhands. You cannot run in. You've got to take your time and be patient and pick the punches at the right time. They asked, could you stop him? He said, yeah, I believe you can if you're patient. You got to take your time with him. I believe you can do it with him. Now, these are the instructions that Dillian White has put together. Like I said, a blueprint for Andy Ruiz. And a lot of this makes sense. I would agree with a lot of this. I mean, I think you do have to have a double jab to keep something in Andy Ruiz's face, to keep him either readjusting himself, keep him low, and that stops him from cutting off the ring and getting leverage on his way to you. Because if you notice Andy Ruiz, he slowly creeps, dips, steps, right? And tries to get ready to get into the range, get in range to punch you. Now, with Joshua didn't use that double jab. He did punch from his waist a lot of times. And I think that's where he made a mistake. He made his mistake in the third round. We all know that, you know. But according to Dillian White, he would keep the double jab in his face and, set those big punches up. Um, I think that Dillian White has a good game plan with him. Again, it's harder to it's harder when you're in there, okay, versus actually fighting Ruiz, because Ruiz is fast. And I think in this assessment, I think Dillian White has to realize that the speed is going to be the factor. Of course, you don't throw singles at him, and that is a good thing. You shouldn't throw singles like Joshua did. Joshua was throwing singles. Andy Ruiz was throwing doubles and triples. You see what I'm saying? And when he got hit upside that head the way he did, that changed the whole fight. Now, it was just weird for him to get hit like that. Maybe it was just a perfect punch. Maybe it was, you couldn't call it a lucky punch, because Ruiz is more experienced than that, but he was throwing, and the way he hit Joshua when Joshua was dipping down, giving up all of his height. Now I would agree on something that he said. Also, he said with Anthony Joshua, he seemed like he didn't believe in anything that he trained on or worked on. Well, that's rather true, because I don't think they really trained and worked on anything. I think they worried about everything else except the actual fight. I think they worked on the physicalities of Joshua, the mental state Joshua was in, things of that nature. And it was just like, okay, well, all we really got from the actual training strategy was Joshua looking at tapes at 3 a.m. You know what I mean? It's like, well, why would you look at tapes like that late into the fight? And that's a dead giveaway that whole training camp was rushed. Okay, that's what that tells me. He was throwing single shots, big overhands and uppercuts, and that's what Ruiz was throwing. He will throw those, and like I told you guys in my fight study, Ruiz is known to throw looping big overhand rights, and he throws it behind the guard. And then the thing that got Anthony Joshua in more trouble, instead of locking up like he should have done, he put his mitts up. When he put his mitts up, it was open season, because he knows I can punch anywhere. He's given me so many targets. That's why Ruiz started going down to the body and hurt Joshua with a body shot. So, yeah, that's a lot of things that Ruiz did. And then he could put all the punches that he worked on together. And again, guys, you might hear from other channels that, oh, well, he was coming off a 5-week training camp. Yes, he was. But that's something you shouldn't just fixate on and amplify. And I'm going to tell you why. The man just got out of a fight, okay? He had only 1 week off before finding out that he had an opportunity of a lifetime to fight Anthony Joshua for 3 belts, rather really 4 belts, okay? But 3 of the major belts. And he went right back into training. And that showed me that was a guy that wanted to fight. Now, if we can take Dillian White, first of all, there's nothing wrong with what Dillian White said. I would agree with everything he said, with everything. The only thing is, first off, it's a good blueprint, but then again, why are you expressing it? Why are you, that's something that you should keep to yourself, because you who knows? Dillian White might fight Andy Ruiz one day. You know what I mean? And he really basically gave everything, that all the info and intel that he had to deal with. Okay, yeah, he's going to start with a double jab, because he already said it on Sky Sports in an interview. You know what I mean? And I don't know if they would really pay attention to that, but I would as a trainer, as the head trainer, I'm like, okay, I know what this guy's going to do because he's already said it. I guess White's figuring like, well, whatever. Maybe he's doing it to help Joshua. Hopefully that can get back to Joshua. But, I feel also he has a strategy and he puts together for Ruiz, but I think he needs to worry about another guy, and his name is Rivas, right? He needs to worry about Rivas rather than Ruiz. I'm really interested to know what type of strategy he has together for him because that's the guy in front of him. If you worry about Deontay Wilder, you're worried about Ruiz, you're worried about other opponents that's not in front of you. That's an automatic distraction, people. And I feel that if anyone could give or lay a blueprint out, it would be the person that fought him. Now, I would prefer this article to really be Joseph Parker. You know what I mean? Because Joseph Parker went 12 rounds with this guy and was able to beat this guy, in a close, contentious decision. Okay. Now I can understand him putting together one. But a guy looking from the outside, like Dillian White, it's strange. I'm like, okay, this is the wrong guy to really be giving a strategy. However, to be fair, everyone's had their opinions about how Joshua should have done something or should have done this instead of that in that fight on that night, right? So you can't be mad, at the end of the day because everyone has their opinion, including myself. But, that's what I do, and my fight study was similar to this. Really just keep Andy Ruiz in range. But the things that Anthony Joshua was doing, it was almost like he was punch drunk before he got in there. Because you think about it, I'm looking at a photo, and I might use it as one of the thumbnails to this. And it was a trip because you had Joshua going real low. And the funny thing about it, his trainer, Rob McCracken, told Anthony Joshua at an early age, what the hell are you doing? Because Anthony Joshua was emulating Tyson's movements, okay? But Tyson is 5'9". He's not 6'5" or 6'6", right? He's not that tall. So Anthony Joshua shouldn't have been fighting like that. But seeing him emulating the movements, dipping, to punch, and it's like, you shouldn't do that. And then in this picture, clearly, it shows him going that low to punch Andy Ruiz. Almost like you're punching like a tall guy punching a fat, short kid. You know what I mean? That's what it looked like. And then that just gave Andy Ruiz ample opportunity to throw his best punches and land them in the best possible way. Because you got a guy that's crouching himself down to you and boom. You know what I mean? And matter of fact, boom, 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 boom. And that's what happened. And it's just, he just did not follow instructions. I believe that the assessment was good. You do have to take your time with Ruiz, but then again, I want to see Ruiz fight someone else. Win, lose, or draw with Anthony Joshua, I don't care. I want him to fight someone else because it's about the numbers, it's about the styles, it's about different fighters and their compatibility with each other. I want to see Andy Ruiz in there with someone else because that is the only way that I can see what he has to offer. You know what I mean? Because he's not known for a knockout puncher. I mean, not to say he can't knock you out because look what he did to Joshua. He knocked him down 4 times. But what I'm saying is I want to see him in there with someone else. I want to see how his punches match up, right? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Dillian White's assessment on a blueprint to beat Andy Ruiz. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.